Hi guys, welcome back for another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I started my photography business at age 17 and also some practical tips on how you can start a photography business, or really I guess it could apply to any business, but I'm going to be talking about photography in general. First, I'm just going to give a little backstory on how I got into photography. I have a few notes typed out on my phone, so I'm going to be referencing that. What originally started my love for photography was when I was in 6th grade. We went on a family trip to Charleston for spring break, and I remember being obsessed with bokeh, which is like when the background is blurry in photos, especially at Christmas time. I loved like the lights in the background. Anyway, obviously this wasn't Christmas time, but it was spring break, and I remember taking my mom's iPhone 4, which barely created any bokeh in the background, but I was obsessed with it. I was taking pictures of all the different gates in Charleston, and I just loved it. I was just having so much fun. Maybe like a year later, my aunt ended up giving me her old Canon camera, and it was like one of the first it might have been the first generation of Canon Rebels. That is what I started out with, and of course I would just get my friends to model for me and just take random pictures of nature and everything, because again, I was so obsessed with bokeh. This was like circa 2012, 2013 core Tumblr era. Like this, I was also obsessed with like Tumblr and taking pictures like that and everything. So I eventually wanted to upgrade my camera because I just felt like my photos weren't getting any better. My mom basically told me, if you want to get a new camera, then you need to work for it. So I got a job. I think it was summer 2016. So I was 16 and I was working at this frozen yogurt shop, and I was working almost like 40 hours a week. And even though I was making minimum wage, it really didn't take me that long to save up for the next camera that I got. So I ended up getting a camera that fall, and then got another lens to go with it. I think around that time too is when I started my Instagram for my photography stuff, and then also started my photography Facebook page. And so like a lot of families in my church started asking me to take family pictures, and you know, I was charging like $40 a session. And at that time, I mean 16, 17, I thought that was a lot. I would edit the photos on my phone and send them via text message, sometimes Google Drive. That is kind of how I got into it. And then I remember this one girl reached out and asked me to shoot her wedding, and I was like, I've never done weddings before, and I was really nervous, but my personality is just to be super prepared for anything. So because of her asking me, I immediately just DM'd every photographer that I could find in South Carolina upstate area on Instagram. I DM'd them and I was like, hey, I would love to shadow you at weddings. And so I shadowed a few. The girl who asked me to shoot her wedding, she ended up not going with me, but honestly, I owe it all to her for starting my photography career, because that really is what got me into it. And after shadowing multiple different photographers, I started second shooting, getting paid for that, and I just loved it. I loved it so much. I would be so excited for every single wedding that I would go to, and also just getting to experience these people's most special day in their life. I get to experience so many of those. I just loved that so much, and eventually it got to be a full-time job for me. And so after I second shot a lot, which I second shot probably like 30 to 40 times between 2018 and 2019, and in 2018 is when I started college that fall. And so September 2018 is when I shot my first wedding by myself, and after that in 2019 is when I officially started my business, Bailey Lee's Photography LLC. That's kind of when I started really building on my business. My last year of college, I would say, it was my first year of being full-time photography. I was shooting, I think, around like 20 weddings that year, and it was a lot to say the least with doing full-time school. And then also I was planning a wedding my last semester, but that was 2020 going into 2021. And then in May 2021, I graduated college, and then after that I just kind of continued with full-time photography. And I just love my job so much, and I remember when I was starting out just how clueless I was. There's a lot more education now on that kind of stuff versus 5 years ago, but I just wanted to give some practical tips on how you can start a photography business if that's what you're wanting to do, and just how to actually do that, how to jump in. And because I just love it so much, and if you are passionate about photography, then I just want to help you out and make it clear on how to start. So I have a few practical steps that you can take in order to kickstart your business and actually make it official, start getting clients, making money, etc. Step number 1 is to shoot a ton all the time. If you want to be shooting couples, then ask your couple friends or people that you follow on Instagram that live near you if they want to model, because odds are people want photos. People, especially if they're free, people love having photos to look back on, love having them to share. And so shoot for free, reach out to people to model for you, shoot a bunch of what you want to be shooting, because the more couples that you shoot, the more couples will come to you and want you to take their pictures. Or if you want to be doing seniors and you're posting couples, then seniors are not, they're gonna see your page and they're like, she doesn't do senior stuff, so I'm not gonna reach out. If you want to do everything, then seriously just ask people around. You want to have work to share that is work that you want to be doing. And along with that, scout out, find pretty locations. If you live in the upstate of South Carolina, you know it is a struggle to find pretty locations, because pretty much everywhere people own the land. They don't want you to be shooting on their land, which of course I understand, because it's their land, they don't want it to get messed up. But there's public places you can go. There's mountains that are beautiful. Even if it is a long drive, it's going to be worth it. You're investing your time and your energy and your money back into your business, and in the future it's just going to pay off. So that's my first tip: shoot a ton all the time, shoot for free, and shoot what you want to be shooting. Step number 2 is to create social medias. The most important ones that I get inquiries from, number 1's Instagram. Even though they're like shifting to more videos, I just don't know if I personally think that's going to last, because I feel like everybody wants it to stay a photo app. But anyway, out of the social media inquiries that I get most of mine from Instagram. And then number 2 is Facebook. Even though Facebook is a little more like dated and a little more for the older generation, like middle age and up, I still get a lot of inquiries, surprisingly, from Facebook. And I think it's because there are a lot of like Facebook groups that brides are in, and they always ask recommendations, and people recommend me on there, or I'm in a few of those groups, so I can say, hey, I would love for you to check out my page. And then a few others that are good to have but are kind of harder to get inquiries from, just depending on where you live, is TikTok and Pinterest. So TikTok can bring a lot of traffic to your other social medias, like your Instagram and then your website if you have one, which that kind of comes a little bit later because that's more of a bigger expense. And so I wouldn't recommend getting a website until you're making enough money where it actually pays off. But I would say it is essential eventually. TikTok can help. Pinterest also, I've gotten a few inquiries from Pinterest, but I feel like Pinterest is really good if you're shooting at popular locations. For example, I shot like 3 weddings at Pretty Place Chapel. That was all during COVID, and that was also around the time where Pretty Place was going viral on TikTok, like absolutely viral. And so I think a lot of people were looking on Pinterest for Pretty Place weddings and inspiration for that. And so I got a few inquiries from that, but honestly the social medias don't matter unless they are converting into inquiries. If you work hard enough on TikTok, I'm sure you could, but I only recently made a TikTok specifically for my photography page because I just felt like it kind of gets really overwhelming if you have so many different types of social media. But the good thing about TikTok is you can recycle your Instagram reels to TikTok or vice versa. And so once you create your social medias, you need to post all the photos that you've been sharing. Again, only share what you want to be shooting. So the same thing like I said in the first step, if you want to be shooting couples, post your couple photos. If you want to be shooting families, post your families. Step number 3 is to invest the money that you start making back into your business. So at the beginning, you're probably not going to be making very much money. Like I said, you'll shoot for free a lot of the time just to build up your portfolio and increase your experience and kind of learn more of what you're doing and how you like to shoot and how you like to edit and all that kind of stuff. But once you start making money, even if it's not that much, you know, even if you're starting out charging like $50, $75, $100 per session, whatever it is, invest that back into your business. So buy a nicer camera, buy a nicer lens, buy more memory cards, buy a nicer camera bag, a laptop even if you don't have a good one to edit with, hard drives, editing software. The best editing software I think by far is Adobe Lightroom, and you may be able to get that for free if you are a student, but if not, I think it is like $10 a month. So you just have to think of these expenses as an investment back into your business. And like I said, once you're a little further along, get a website. I use Squarespace, and there's also a student discount for that, which I got when I first started my website, and they have really nice templates that you can use. You don't have to know how to code and how to be a graphic designer and all that kind of stuff. A website will really up-level your business. It'll make you seem a lot more professional. It gives a place for you to point people to see more of your work, to inquire with you. And another thing you can invest in is a gallery subscription service. So I use Pass, a really nice looking, very professional way to deliver your galleries. It's really easy for clients to access their gallery, and it just looks super nice. They can also order prints through the website, and I love Pass, would highly recommend. Other things you can invest in are a mentorship with your favorite photographer. Learn how to shoot from them, learn how to edit. I know that mentorships aren't always super affordable. I mean, a lot of the times they can range from like $300 to $600 or even more than that, depending on what photographer that you want to do a mentorship with. But honestly, the same thing, you have to look at it as an investment in your business, because when you invest in the beginning early on, it's going to pay off. Another great resource that you can invest in is Dawn Charles's Rise Academy. I never paid for it, but when she first came out with it, maybe like a year or two ago, I did like a free month trial, and I kind of knew a lot of the stuff because obviously I wasn't like a beginner when I was starting it, but there was a lot of stuff that I learned even in just the 1 month that I had the trial. I think it was really, really great, especially if you're a beginner. I think it's like $67 a month or something like that, but I mean, you could literally get it and then go through all of the lessons, watch all of the videos within a month, and then just cancel your subscription, because I don't think you're limited in the amount that you can watch per month. She goes over everything from editing, from how to use Lightroom, how to work Lightroom, shooting, delivering, basically everything I'm talking about. And so I think that's a really great resource too. Tip number 4 is make your business legit. Once you start making $600 or more in the United States, the government requires you to create an LLC and basically make your business legit, and you have to pay taxes. The reason that you need to do this, it is essential that you do this, is because you can get in trouble with the IRS. If they find out you're not paying taxes, they can freeze your bank accounts, they can come for any of your assets, like your car, your house, whatever, and it's just not worth the risk. And also, I think it's part of having integrity is keeping up with your taxes, keeping up with your income, your expenses. Save 20 to 30% for your taxes from all the money that you get from shooting. You should create a business bank account and a business tax savings account. I'm happy to do another video about this if people are interested, but basically you need to file to be an LLC, make your business legit, so that way you don't get in trouble with the IRS. I also just want to say, feel free to ask me any questions. You can ask me on here, you can DM me on Instagram, whatever it is, but I'm an open book. I'm happy to help. When I first started out, I kind of just got my information from random people, different photographers, or honestly my uncle taught me a lot. He's owned a lot of businesses and he helped me with the tax side of things. And so that is it for all of the practical tips. So just a little recap. Number 1, shoot a ton all the time. Number 2, create social medias for your photography business. Number 3, invest the money that you're making back into your business. And number 4, make your business legit. If you are a photographer wanting to make your business legit and you don't know where to start, or if you are someone who has always been passionate or interested in photography but don't know where to start, I hope that this video was helpful and educational for you. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for being here again and for watching my videos. I'm so appreciative. If this was helpful, if you enjoyed it, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and would love for you to subscribe to follow along. I'm so grateful for each of you guys and can't wait to see you next time. Bye.